work in progress. I mean, we're not there yet, you know, and it's good competition out there, and it's really good because we've got I think a very good defensive line. I think our defensive line is much further along right now than they were this time last year, and so you know, sometimes it can be a little hard to gauge, but you know, we're mixing and matching a lot of different guys, trying to just see different combinations, but a long way away from being, you know, championship caliber yet, but making progress.
Would you like to see Battle kind of grab hold of that left tackle job?
Yeah, I'd love to. But, you know, he's got to have more sense of urgency to him. I mean, he's got all the talent, you know, but you know, I'm not wouldn't say I'm just over the top pleased with him with his performance this spring. You know, just inconsistent. You know, it's really just you know, having the focus and the drive every day to be your best. That's really it. And until he commits to that, he's not ever going to be what he's capable of being. But, you know, he's just coming off his freshman year, and we got high expectations on him. And, you know, he just still got a ways to go. But you know, we got a lot of work left to do and a lot of time. But he's going to be a good player. You know, I don't have any doubt about that. It's just a matter of when.
So how difficult is that when you see a kid with all the ability and with all the athleticism and it's all in front of him, and you feel like he's not truly yet all in, and you're trying to get him to buy in? How hard is it to get a guy to work and to commit off the field when the band's not playing?
Right. Well, that's a frustrating part of coaching, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I've been around a lot of guys that had all the ability in the world, but they just couldn't win with them. And at the end of the day, you know, coaches are going to play the guys that give them a chance to win. It's not about who's the tallest or runs the fastest or jumps the highest. If it was all about that, I'd have never played. It's about guys that are going to be dependable and accountable and responsible. Those are the abilities that matter, not just ability. And, he's still got a ways to go in that area. But a young player, and that's our job as coaches, is to get them there. But you know, at some point, they got to get out of the wheelchair. They got to get on their own 2 feet. You know, and that's part of it. Sometimes they come in here, we got to push them around a little bit in the wheelchair, and we put them on crutches, and that's okay too. But sooner or later, they got to be on their own feet. And they got to go. We've got him out of the wheelchair, but he's still got a couple crutches underneath his arms. But that's a frustrating part of coaching, is when you see guys that have it all, but they don't get it, and you know, some of them figure it out, and they look back and they go, man, you know, why did I wait so long to really commit to this? You know, so like a Dwayne Allen, for example, perfect example. And then you have other guys that never figure it out, and they don't ever turn out to, you know, or to be what we thought they could be, or reach their potential as a person. And that's disappointing, but you know, that's life. And but the flip side of that is, there's nothing better than seeing a guy who just gives you every ounce of what he's got, and you see him get better and better and better and better and better. And that's to me the essence of coaching. There's been a lot of guys. Philip Price, you know, he didn't start here for his 5th year. He, you know, probably as good a lineman as we had at that time. And Rod McDowell, you know, another guy. Boys, he set himself up to really have a good year this year. So, you know, that's the fun thing. Or you see a guy like Dante Stewart. You know, here's a kid who walked on here you just get every ounce of everything he has every day. And he's so committed from a knowledge standpoint and technical standpoint, and you know, seeing guys like that get better. That's what it's all about. But it definitely is frustrating when you have that ultra talented guy, and you know, he's constantly, you know, just, you know, wavering back and forth across the line of, I'm all in, I'm not all in, I'm all in, I'm not all in. And you know, sometimes we got to pull a few of them through the knot hole.
Is Brandon working mostly first team now since he's back over there at left tackle?
Brandon Thomas?
Yeah.
We've mixed it up. He's worked right tackle, left tackle. He's worked guard. He's worked a little bit of all of it this spring. And I tell you, he's having a good spring. I'm really pleased with Brandon Thomas. He had a good W drill today, and he's another one of those guys, kind of like Battle. You know, in fact, I would say Battle was much further along than Brandon Thomas was after his true freshman year. It's not even close. You know, Brandon Thomas redshirted. His redshirt freshman year was a complete non-factor. In his sophomore year, he started to kind of show some life. He really came on last year. And I think Battle is nowhere near where we need to be, but he's a little further along than what Brandon was.
Where'd you get that Oklahoma drill out that you were running out there earlier with the stack? Like
We call that the double drill. The Oklahoma drill is what we call Paul drill. But the W drill is a drill that we saw. It's one of the drills they brought back from Arizona State that I really liked, that we've been doing all spring. Just, kind of gets everybody involved. It's a different type of drill. When you do the Paul drill, it's really just point of attack. Just trying to defeat blocks, create a new line of scrimmage, get movement, toughness with the backs. And then the W drill is good because you still got that point of attack element with the first group, and then you got, whether it's a tight end or a guard climbing to a backer in space, and then you got a receiver blocking a DB. So it kind of gives you all those elements. It's fast. It involves everybody. So it's a good drill. That's one of those things that we picked up in the offseason that I really think is helping us.
You wait for Corey Crawford.
Anything in particular you saw today, I guess, in this situation?
Well, we did a little bit. We pretty much were open field today. We had a half practice, and then we did a little half scrimmage at the end. But we worked short yardage. I thought our defense was outstanding with short yardage today. We also did 2-minute today. We hadn't done that this spring, so we got a little mixture in that. And first group was able to go down, touchdown, had to win it. They were able to go and get the score, made a couple big plays. But I thought that the guys responded well from the last scrimmage to this scrimmage, and that's really what I was hoping to see, was just see them improve a little bit when we went live again. Now Monday it'll be a full scrimmage, and get everybody off the field. There's no coach out there saying odd, even, hey, left, right. We'll eliminate all that stuff and get everybody off the field and really expose them a little bit. So look forward to that. But I'd be disappointed if we're not improved on Monday.
Is the competition so good on the D-line across the board? And is it so close that it almost doesn't matter who starts?
I don't ever even look, to be honest with you. Those guys up front, used to, I would notice, and I don't ever even know who's in there.
Good position.
And you got that right. Every good team I've been on has had that situation. You've had guys in the trenches, and you just can play, and you don't really even have to think about it. Some guys get hot, maybe he started the game, maybe he didn't, but yet he's that dominant player that day. And there was such a big drop off, the last 2 years in a row with our defensive line. 2 years ago it was Brandon Thompson and Branch and those guys, and then it was all freshmen. It was Josh and Deshaun and Grady and those guys that played. Corey. It was such a drop off. Not in talent, but just knowledge and experience, and that leads to execution. And then last year, all those guys were gone, so we had all those guys becoming the starters, and you still had some young guys coming in here behind them. But this year, I just think Vic was like I said, just a guy trying to figure it out last year. Tavares, will he take another step? Those were a lot of what ifs last year, but now fast forward a year, they're all really competing hard. And it's a very unselfish group, but it is a good situation. You have a chance to be successful when you can be that good at the defensive line. And even in 2010, when we lacked that scoring punch, and we weren't a very good kicking team either, but we were in every game. We had a chance. How many losses did we have by 5 or 6 points or less? And the reason was our defensive line. They kept us in it every game. Kept us in it, and the same thing in the LSU game. We were not a thing of beauty offensively in that LSU game early. We had to handle some adversity, but the reason we were able to stay in that game was our defense. They created 3 and outs and kept giving us the ball, and so that's exciting to me. Because again, when you have a chance to be good up front, you got a chance to be a good team.
How far along is Carlos Watkins?
So much improved. Oh my goodness, Dan's done a great job with him. His pad leverage, he was just a kind of a pop-up, look-around guy. When he got here, just pop up. Just kind of see, you can't do that. He is really, really improved throughout the season, throughout bowl practice, and now, and he looks like the player that we know he can be. So it's good situation. DJ Reader's been awesome. I mean, he is really special player. Looks great. His weight's way down. He's in that like 320 range. So just really excited about that whole group and how they work and the leadership in our defensive line.
Corey said that this defense wants to be the tops in the country in every category. What's it going to take for this group to accomplish that?
We got to eliminate the big plays. You know, we gave up way too many runs of 12 or longer and passes of 16 or longer last year. And we've got to continue to pressure the quarterback like we did at the latter part of the season. I think the last 6 games we had like 28 sacks. I think the first 7 we had like 8. So, you know, pressuring the quarterback, eliminating the big plays would be the number one thing. I mean, we just way too many big plays. You know, you can't take those out. You minimize those things, we're a different defense. So just the consistency, play in, play out, quarter in, quarter out, week in, week out. That's what it takes. You're going to be one of those cats. You're going to be one of them top 10 defenses. You have to be incredibly consistent every week. So that's what we got to do.
Chad was talking yesterday about moving Sammy to the boundary, and when it's kind of 2 years removed, it's kind of inconceivable that he has a lot to learn, but yet that's in fact the truth for that position.
Yeah, I mean he's done a little bit of it before, and we've formationed him many times into the spot he's playing.
Yeah,
we've disguised it as a formation, and he was still the 2-man. We didn't call him the 9-man, but he was doing the same thing. So it's a little bit of a learning curve. He's on the ball more and things like that, but he's still running a lot of the same routes. And then the chemistry's got to come with he and Taj, because that's a real key for that spot. We saw that a lot with he and Nuke. But the other thing with Sammy is we'll still use him in a lot of other ways. He'll fill that void for Nuke, but also do some of the things that he's done in the past. We're not going to just completely divorce ourselves from that because he's been so effective in a lot of those things. So, but I feel good about what he's done and the progress he's made. But it just takes a lot of work. I mean, it's going to take all summer and all fall camp to really get that continuity that we need. But they'll get there.
Do you look at him now and considering what happened a year ago in May and all the ups and downs that he had through the summer and into the season and all, and you see a different guy? There's a sense about him. He looks more confident.
Sammy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's that's what adversity will do for you. You either get stronger, you grow from it, or you crumble. And he's responded like a champion. He's gotten stronger and better and learned and he's matured and has handled himself the right way in every regard. And then you go into the season and you had a couple, obviously some tough breaks. Only really played in about 7 games or so. I think it's just motivated him to really go and work hard and stay humble and just focus on the things that he can control and all the little things right. Because he's definitely focused on having a great year. I don't have any doubt about that. And hopefully he'll stay healthy, because if he does, he will have a great year.
All set.